What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 23 of Buckets of Duckets. I am your host, all the way in Seattle, Chase Myers. Down there in Louisiana is my co-host, the one, Josh Watts.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is episode 23, which is half of Michael Jordan's jersey number of 45. Fuck. I really want to say that real clear and just make,
Are you going to make me take out a piece of paper and divide 45? That's it, because I think you're going to be a little upset about how half...
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm sticking with it, but
okay.
I'm sticking with it. This is episode 23, guys. We've been doing this for 23 fucking weeks, and I didn't get food poisoning this week. I didn't almost die from that. And we're here to give you another 6 hours of quality fucking podcast content.
Every hour better than the last. You stay in there. You see, what we do is we start off with a little tidbit, and then we pay it off 8 hours from now. So it's really
There's
worth it.
There's going to be callbacks after callback after callback.
It's a submersive experience. You know what I'm saying? You got to just lose yourself in our sexy voices and just trust it. Just trust where it goes. And while you're trusting it, go ahead and hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. However you're listening to this as a podcast, rate, review.
For 30 seconds out of your listening time, take your hand off of your genitals, whether you're holding your wiener or your clitoris. Let go of either one of them and click on that subscribe button, and then put your hand right back there. We don't want you to miss any of the goodness.
We don't want you to stop. Look,
you hold on to if you want to hold your wiener while you're listening to this podcast, dude, I am all for it. You heard that? You see, I did that Barry White. I did some Barry White shit in there.
You did do that.
All right, wiener holders and clit flickers, what's up?
Buckets of Duckets is about self-love, people. All right, we'll never stop you from touching yourself.
I want to record this, dude. I want to record this so fast. I love talking to you and I love doing the show, but Michelle's just been walking around all day in a brand new pair of leggings, and I've been so distracted.
Oh, okay.
By everything all day.
So. To be clear, your hand's on your dick right now, actually. That's why
I said something about it. It was more of I was projecting.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
All you pervs out there with your wives wearing sexy-ass leggings and touching your dick while you do a podcast. All of you out there doing the same thing.
They can't wait for your 2 children to go to sleep.
Yeah, dude, leggings are crushers, bro. It's
gross. I told you before that we're coming up on our 9th anniversary.
Congratulations.
We've been together thank you. We've been together off and on 25 years almost.
Insane.
And I'm not saying this for all the women that listen to the podcast to start liking me, or because I'm going to get on The View, or because Oprah is going to be my book for her book club, or any of that. But I still think my wife is the hottest. I still really, I like my wife. I like her a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm going to take a stand right here in 2020 as a dude and say, my wife she's pretty cool. I like her a lot. I'll touch her boob anytime she wants me to.
That's the title of the book, right?
Yep. True love means touching boobs anytime your wife wants you to. Even when you're supposed to be watching WrestleMania. By Josh Watts. Forward by Chase Myers.
Oh, good. I was hoping I'd get to do a little blurb in there. You're like, Josh Watts loves WrestleMania. But his wife's boobs capture his attention every time.
Even more so. It's shocking. Not always more so, but...
It's a family man.
I do want to tell you, though,
please.
This week, I watched You Can't Kill David Arquette.
Okay.
It's a documentary that follows David Arquette getting into, trying to redeem himself in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Because, give people the history of David Arquette's wrestling.
Was it 99, 2000? David Arquette was promoting the movie Ready to Rumble that he did with Scott Conn and
the classic.
All the WCW wrestlers in it.
The classic Ready to Rumble.
I went and saw it in the theater 3 or 4 times just because it was a wrestling movie in the theater. And it had all the WCW stars in it, and it was about WCW. and these two super fans that were Scott Conn and David Arquette following it around. But instead of having like a real WCW wrestler be their champion, they hired somebody that could act. So they got Oliver Platt to play basically Jerry Lawler. I think he was called the King. I don't know. But David Arquette, and then to promote the movie, David Arquette ends up on Nitro and then ends up wrestling and then wins the fucking world title in a 4-way match by pinning Eric Bischoff. And everybody thinks that killed the business, and people are, myself included, hated him for a long time.
Wait, why? Because an actor beat professional wrestlers at professional wrestling?
An actor who's like 100 pounds less than them, who is at the time like 24, like a little kid. Yeah. It angered some people. It would, it's hard to make, it's hard to be like, wrestling's real. Here's David Arquette beating the shit out of everybody in the ring.
Our fearless leader, David Arquette.
And I hated him, and I thought he ruined wrestling. And I saw this documentary come up, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna enjoy his life being shit now. And I hope, like, I want to hate watch it, and I fucking loved it. Loved it. I loved it, and I love David Arquette. I have a 100% different opinion of him now. I rented it, and then immediately after I watched it, I bought it. The dude is just, and as somebody who follows wrestling as seriously as I do, I never even realized, like, it wasn't his idea that he won the title. Like, there were bookers that planned this and stuff. It wasn't him that did it. And even he didn't want to do it because he knew that people were going to hate it. And he didn't want to do it, but he did it, because he's a huge wrestling fan. And then this where this documentary picks up, he's been auditioning for like 10 years and has not gotten a single role.
Really?
So he's just like, yeah, that's what he said.
Hollywood's just done with him?
I guess. So he's like, you know what? I guess I'm going to be an indie wrestler.
It's good to have something to fall back on. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever comedy is like completely dead for sure, like I'm gonna get into arm wrestling. That's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna start just arm wrestling, motherfucker. I'm gonna go to a pool hall and I'm gonna fucking slap $1 and quarters on the table, and I'm gonna say, who can take this from me? And I'm just gonna smash people's hands down on them all day.
I'm gonna be when comedy doesn't work out for me, I'm gonna go move up north and be a lumberjack. I don't know exactly what it entails, but I'm gonna get an axe and some flannel and just see where that takes me.
Let me explain something to you. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, quite a few lumberjacks. There are. I've driven through whole cities that is just lumber. That's all they are. They're just logs.
And
everywhere.
I'll just fucking out there chopping it all down. You just drive by and see me chopping down.
It's you. Forest. It's you and Dexter. That's who's out here.
So, but he so in this thing, I mean, he really. It shows him go to like a Legends Fest to try to spark interest and maybe if he wants to be a wrestler, and all the wrestlers fucking hate him. The fans are shitty to him, and he had like a Virgil moment where it just shows him sitting at an empty booth with nobody getting his autograph. And people, what was really funny was though, it zoomed in on these two fucking like stereotypical wrestling fans, like fat neckbeard dorks that were like, no, fuck him. He ruined the business. If he was standing over right now, I'd tell him right to his fucking face, he ain't shit and blah, blah, blah. And then he walked over to buy something from him. They're like, oh, hey, all right, thanks so much. Great. It's great to see you. Nice to meet you.
I love when you got the title. When you got the title, I said that's the day professional wrestling started, was right there. It didn't end the business. It created the business, Mr. Arquette. Thank you so much.
And then he's like, I'm just going to start wrestling. So he decides he wants to wrestle. He starts putting it out there. And he gets contacted for this like indie league. And he shows up, and it's for real, these kids in a backyard. It's like straight up backyard wrestling. I was praying to God the kid with the undercut that stabbed people was going to come out from our Chase. I love to, we like to get real high and watch YouTube videos of bad backyard wrestling. And there's this one kid that's in all of them with a knife. He has a knife, like, and fireworks, and like.
There's this murderer. There's a man. He invites people into his backyard to stab them and hit them with barbed wire things. And bro, they just set
Early
things on
2000s
fire.
too, so he's definitely moved on. He's definitely moved up to murder.
Dude, this man is in jail right now for sure. He's either in jail or on the run, one of those two things. But he is like, if you ask me, like, who is like the wrestler that scares you the most? Shaved head dude with the ponytail that slices people's foreheads. That guy in people's backyards, or absolutely New Jack, dude. New Jack is a different level. New Jack is that guy. New Jack is that
New Jack
guy.
will kill you in front of the audience and not give a like. He stabbed a dude multiple times in front of everyone in the middle of the ring. Oh God, I can't.
So the wrestler me and Josh are talking about now. So we start off, we're just talking about goofy dudes in the backyard, but there's a guy, New Jack, who's actually had like a professional wrestling, professional wrestling career for some 30 years. And there's actually like a whole documentary that me and Josh watched about him called Dark Side of the Ring. And they take an episode to talk about him. And there's this one part where every story he tells is crazy. The thing Josh was just talking about where he literally stabbed a guy in the middle of a match.
Multiple times. But took a piece of metal out of the back of his pants and just stabbed a dude a whole bunch in the match.
The one that always got me, that like threw me off in that was he had like that scaffold match with somebody at some point, right? And so New Jack, he's upset because something got botched in their last match. He hurt himself. And so they're going to have a new match where they go up, 30, 40 feet in the air and fight on scaffolding.
They put scaffolding over a wrestling ring. And it's the most dangerous. As an adult now, I'm like, why the fuck would they do that? But as a kid, I was like, yeah, blood.
New Jack. New Jack tases this dude while they're up on a fucking scaffolding. Didn't go, hey man, I'm thinking of doing this taser thing. You cool with that? No, just tased him and then threw his like lifeless body off of the scaffolding. He doesn't die somehow. He fucking lands like he hits some stuff. I think he like broke his ankle or something.
There was no regard for his safety. Like it's not a wrestling, like it wasn't a wrestling throw off. He was trying to kill that dude.
Yeah,
and so tasered him and incapacitated him, and then just tossed him on his head.
And so, what terrified me, like that, the reason why that was the scariest one was because then they cut to New Jack in present day, and he goes, "Yeah, I was trying to murder that dude. I was throwing him off scaffolding, and I was hoping he was gonna hit the ground." Next question, dude.
He was mad that the guy didn't hit the floor and die. So David Arquette shows up at this backyard wrestling thing, and these dudes have a ring, and man, it's backyard wrestling idiots. And they're like, we're going to teach him to respect this business when he comes here. Mr. Hollywood thinks he's going to, and it's like some fat 19-year-old kid who works at gas stations. What are you talking about? We love this business and we're going to, and then come out of their mom's carport with a radio. It was crazy. But they legit beat the shit out of him.
But they did put some respect on Arquette.
They did beat shit out of him.
Yeah. No, they broke him in.
Like he gets to bleeding and stuff, and there's literally it's in somebody's backyard, nobody there. It's crazy. Right. He goes to Mexico, and in Mexico, I'm not going to do the whole documentary. In Mexico, though, and I didn't know they did this, at red lights, they do street wrestling. Like people at red lights, people run out in front of the cars and do like lucha libre, like fighting in the streets. And then run up and down to get tips. And I didn't know that happened, but I'll tell you right goddamn now, if I'm stopped at a red light and you jump in front of me and Hurricane Rana, some son of a bitch, and hit him in the head with a chair, I'm giving you a fucking tip. If you stand out there with a fireman's boot and tell me it's for an orphanage that burned down, you can eat shit. I don't believe you. You put on a mask and do a Hurricane Rana and smack some dude, you can have all my money. You want to kiss my baby? Take him too. Teach him how to wrestle. I'll pick him up in a week. I'm for it. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And they make David Arquette do it. It's hilarious.
All of the furniture stores that are going out of business and they put some dude with a sign out front, they should switch to Lucha Libre. They should actually have just two wrestlers, just full lucha. Do it like that's how it's that way. Just fucking Hurricane Rana people
every
towards
year
where it needs to go.
Every year when it becomes tax time, the Statue of Liberty is wrestling a dude in an American Eagle, like an eagle outfit, and they're Hurricane Rana each other in the fucking front of the that's where I'm getting my taxes done. H&R Block might be reliable with insurance or whatever, but I'm going to this dude's carport because he's got 2 idiots in his front yard wrestling. I'm on. So David Arquette finally decides like he needs to learn how to actually wrestle, and he goes to DDP, who everybody goes to for everything because he's the nicest guy in the world, and tells him that he wants to train to really wrestle. Diamond Dallas Page tells him straight to his face, "Oh, people are gonna fucking hate it." Anyway, You Can't Kill David Arquette. It's a fantastic documentary. It's on
what is
Amazon
it on?
Prime.
Okay.
I found it on Amazon Prime. But what's fucking great is I clicked on it on Amazon Prime, and now it's suggesting other like wrestling documentaries. And Vampiro has one out. And I think Vampiro is very interesting because I don't know much about him, and I'm pretty sure that he wasn't trained. He just started wrestling. Like, he's a weird dude, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, he's like a Canadian dude that's like known as a Mexican wrestler, but he's like, yeah, he's all over the place.
He has a real aura around him, and I don't think he's that trained. I don't know much about him, so I'm kind of interested to watch it.
So back to Diamond Dallas Page, you were talking about his reaction of just like he's gonna hate you, and that reminds me
they're gonna hate it.
That reminds me of his doc. This is Doc Talk. We're here just talking wrestling docs, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
You ever seen the Jake the Snake one?
That's what I'm getting at, yeah. And so whenever he does the Jake the Snake documentary, there's a moment where Jake Roberts like relapses. He's living with Diamond Dallas Page to get better, and in the middle of the documentary, he has a little relapse moment, and the cameraman comes run up to DDP and goes, hey, you need to check on Jake. And DDP looks at him and goes, well, it must be pretty fucking important since you grabbed the camera. And it was just such a real moment of like, fuck this documentary, dude. Like, my friend is relapsing somewhere right now, and your first instinct was to grab the camera. Fuck off. Like,
I love Diamond Dallas Page so much, man. He seems like such a real dude. I think Jake still lives with him or was living with him during quarantine, and he celebrated 2 or 3 years sober. And DDP made him a cake and like brought it to his room, but they had to social distance, so he left it on a table like to celebrate. Everybody talks about DDP being like the nicest dude who saved Scott Hall. He saved like some of my favorite wrestlers. Great dude. It's an awesome documentary. For $4.99, and then I bought it for $12.99 as soon as it was over. Oh wait, one thing I did think was funny was somebody yelled at David Arquette at some shitty indie show about you must really need the money or something, and he looks right in this dude's face and goes, I got friends money, bitch. I don't need anything. Like, well, I mean,
that's a good point. So I got a gig.
It's really funny that you mentioned this because I also want to talk about probably the same place. Where's your gig?
So I'm in comedy purgatory right now. Is what's happening. Is I'm not like, my comedy career is not dead, but it's in this like mix. I guess I need to learn something in order to cross over to the next. I don't know what's
like Quantum Leap. You got to save somebody.
Yeah, I don't know what comedy's trying to test me on right now. And so, as you know, my least favorite show to do is the Mill Casino in Coos Bay. Those of you that have been fans of this podcast and have listened from the beginning know that whenever I did some shows there back in July, and that was my first show since the pandemic, and I shit on that venue for a month going into it about just all the problems that I've had, and I just kept laughing because I was like, I don't understand why they like me. I never do well there. It doesn't like just keep rebooking me. And so I did the shows in July. If you go back and find those episodes, I kind of break down what happened at each show, and it was fun. I had a good time because it was my first time performing since March, and getting to be in a live venue. But like, it still wasn't great. Like, it still wasn't what I was looking for in comedy. And I have all of those moments. I come back and I still don't say nice things about it after I do it. And they reached out to me again and said, hey, would you love to come back November 6th and 7th? And God damn it. Yeah, I guess I do. So
I guess so.
I'm in this weird place where the only, like, you can't perform comedy in Washington right now. Like, that's the thing. So that you can't perform at a live venue. Musicians can't perform. That's where we're at with our lockdown. And so I have to go to Oregon if I want to perform. You can actually do some shows there. But like, the pay's not the same. So it's kind of tough for me just to go to Oregon if I want to just, I'm not going to go there to Portland or whatever just to do an open mic. So I got to do this. I have to do it. And I just think it's hilarious that that's how this is all going to end, is every 3 months I'm going to do my least favorite venue. It just keeps starting. So what, did you have a question?
I did want to tell you, I have never in my life heard of Coos Bay except for you talking about it being a shithole until this past weekend when they had like they were all over the news because the boardwalk and outside of, I think it's the same casino, had like one of the biggest Trump rallies.
Oh, did it?
Like all kinds of videos of like
I didn't even know that.
Just shitheads at the Coos Bay Trump rally.
And it was, boy.
Yeah, dude, like you could go, it's
it came up.
Coos Bay Trump rally. And it's the only other time I've ever heard of that place, besides you saying it sucked, was basically the media being like, hey, this place does fucking suck. Look at this.
Dude, yeah, I'm just not the guy for them. I just don't understand. Like, I'm just not the one. And I try so hard. I'm not a shit. Like, I'm a shithead talking about them here and stuff. But when I get on stage, I'm not a shit. I'm genuinely trying to make them laugh. I'm doing my best. And they hate me. They just fucking hate my guts. And I don't understand. I think it's just funny for the venue to bring me out there and watch me just flail around on stage for 20 minutes every couple months.
You're going to find out at some point that the guy who owns Coos Bay or runs it or something is like an enemy of yours from high school.
It's gotta be
on purpose,
right?
Somebody just trying to fuck your ex-girlfriend or something, just trying to fuck your life over.
It's gotta be
like
that
giving you a job that pays you.
So I wanted to talk. I was trying to think of other things that have happened at that venue because I've kind of talked about it before, but I forgot like the number one like thing that made me like hate that place is a comedian named Tommy Llama. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. I have no
before Chase even starts, one of my favorite things about my best friend is when he talks about comedians that he does not respect.
I have no problem saying his name. Fuck that dude, bro. I hate him so bad. He is everything about what I don't. He's everything about why I don't work well there because they like his stupid shit. Okay, he literally. Tell
the people about his little hacky.
I'm Gallagher. Getting into it, Josh. I'm not holding
Gallagher
back.
4. Tommy Llama is Gallagher 4.
He's continued to buy Gallagher's act from each brother as they pass it down, but he can't do the Sledge-O-Matic. He can't do that. So now he just goes out there on rollerblades and acts like an asshole. And so, which by the way, that was me being sarcastic, but what I'm about to tell you that he actually does is not that far. Maybe put some rollerblades on and sell some fruit smasher to me. And so I do the first time that I work with him, and we have a history. There's an arc to the story. And so I'm waiting to go on. The way those shows work is it's 2 comics. It's just opener, headliner, right? Feature, headliner is the way they do. I do 20 minutes. He does 40, and so I always get upset with the headliners there because I feel like I'm a better comic than most of the people that I've opened for there. There's been a few exceptions. The last time I performed there, I worked with a guy named Tyler Bowe, who I respect the fuck out of, and I think he's a great comic, and I don't mind doing shows with him. But this time, I was doing a show with the guy Tommy fucking Llama. Tommy Llama. The Tommy Llama, like the Dalai Lama. You get it?
I hope you put a picture. Is that what it is?
Yes. 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 Yes, yes.
Oh, you fucking hack. I hate him so much more right now.
Dude, yeah, the Tommy Llama, okay?
You fuck. Oh, God.
I'm sitting there, and the way it works is I go up, start the show. I get no kind of love at the beginning. I gotta walk up and just warm the crowd. I gotta walk up and go, "Hey, everybody, who's ready for comedy?" And then they all look at me and go, "Boo!
Not us!
I fucking hate comedy." Yeah. And I go, "Why are you here?" And they're like, "Fuck you, that's why." And so that's what it's like. And I take 20 minutes, and it's always how it happens. I eat shit for 10 minutes. Everybody looks at me like they've never heard a joke, despite every person coming up to me at the end of the show and going, "We come every week. We've said every week, whatever." And I go, "I don't know why you're so surprised by comedy then. It always seems to shock you." And so I do that, and then it takes me 10 minutes. By the end of it, I finally get them. This is how it happens every time. My last joke always hits, and then I go, "All right, everybody, thanks for the 2 minutes. That was an amazing 2 minutes at the end of my 20. I appreciate that you finally like me. I'm gone now. Here is your headliner." And so I'm waiting to go on stage.
You have to bring him up?
Yeah, I bring him up. I bring him up. And so I'm waiting to go on stage, and he comes up.
I know how little you can hide the disgust in your voice.
Oh, it's not. Well, I actually I take the mic out, and I go to hand it to him, and I drop it right before I hand it to him. That's the way I play it. And so,
or hit him in the face with it. Go to hand it to him and poke him with it.
Dude, just straight in the face. Like I'm cutting a promo on him. And so he comes up to me and he hands me a piece of paper that has his what he wants me to introduce him as, and it says Charlie Sheen, spiritual advisor, the Tommy Llama. And I go, what is this? And he goes,
"You remember Charlie Sheen, 2011?"
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, and by the way, I'm talking about maybe a year and a half ago. Okay, I'm not talking about in 2011. Okay, I am talking about a year and a half ago. He wants.
I was in X-ray school when that happened, so like 13 at least, 2013 probably.
And so it's not a current thing. And so I'm looking at him and I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do this." He's like a Boston guy. He's like, "I do this character, where I give out life advice, like I'm a life coach." And I go, "Oh, okay." And then I do my set. "Boo! Get the fuck off stage. We hate you," right? And then
"Boo your well-crafted, thought-out jokes about everyday situations we can all relate to."
Boo! That's not what I came here for.
I don't like to see everyday life in a humorous light presented to me by a comedian. Boo!
And so after that warm reaction, I go, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to love this next guy.
You're going to fucking eat this up, you dumb shit.
This is right on your level. I know one
person.
You
Oregon fuck plates are going to love this."
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tommy Llama, the spiritual advisor to Charlie Sheen. And fucking music starts, like inspirational music. And whenever I saw him before the show, he just looked like a regular dude. Now he's turned full. He's got glasses. He's got big fuck off glasses. He's got a big like medallion that he's wearing. And he walks out.
So he looks like Steve Martin whenever he starts dating Queen Latifah in that one. What's that movie? You know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. Where they have the big dance scene at the end, and it's like, oh man, they love each other. Look at Steve. He's such a bad dancer. And so he goes out and. Because he's
the only thing. It's one of the only things I ever saw Steve Martin in. That I was like, no,
buddy, dude. Isn't there another cheaper by the dozen fours? Isn't there another something you could do? So I'm starting to realize I might have actually talked about this on the podcast, but I don't. If I did, I apologize. But if not,
I think it was I think this is the old show. I think we talked about Tommy Llama on the old show, but even if we did, this is.
Okay, yeah, and so
he deserves to be shit on multiple times,
as much as I can, right? And so he comes out and just crushes with the stupidest fucking shit. He's just
Can you give us just one example of a joke?
No, because I can't. I didn't keep that to memory because I don't want that shit rolling around in my head. Okay, so I immediately did whatever I could to not listen. But basic. Go ahead.
For people listening to this, nothing in the world makes Chase more angry than bad comedy. I revel in it. I love to watch bad open mics. I like to watch people struggle. I like to boo people that are terrible. But Chase will have to get it. Like he gets up and leaves the room, when it gets too awkward or people are too bad because he doesn't even want to watch it. It makes him so angry.
I don't want that.
Love it.
I don't want that. I don't want that stank on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want that. Like that. Like
I want to be stanky as fuck.
I don't want that.
It makes me better.
Feeling. I don't want people being like, "Oh, you're a comedian like that guy." Like no, I draw the line right there where I go. They're doing something different. And
one of my neighbors found out I did comedy and goes, "Oh, like Jeff Dunham," and that's all he's ever said to me in the 4 years since we lived here. He makes Jeff Dunham references.
It's just like that.
Well, it's exactly the same.
He's our king. He's our comedy king, Jeff Dunham. And so he goes up, and the premise is basically he's giving bad life advice. So he's it's bad life advice. And so he's doing stuff like, if you love something, I do remember one. If you love something, let it go. If it reaches out to you 18 years later, you're a father, right? That's kind of like a abandon your kids stuff. So that's the level we're on. But what really makes me mad is he has this like built-in gimmick of whenever a joke bombs, he has like a bell, right? And he'll go, "Oh, I need to cleanse the room of the bad energy," and he'll ring the bell, or like he'll hit it with like it's triangle type thing. He'll just like hit it and ding, and everybody will laugh, right? And so what happens is as he starts bombing more and more, it becomes funny to not laugh and then watch him go grab the bell. And so now that is a funny thing in itself. And so it was one of those things where
fucking hilarious.
Every laugh he got hurt me. Like it hurt me personally, because I was just going, I could never stoop as low as this motherfucker is stooping right now.
You spent all this time trying to craft jokes and make them good and to be funny and good at comedy.
I could have just wore Elton John glasses and a big fuck off medallion and did bad jokes. I could have done that, and it would have worked off well if I keep my persona the whole time. And so that happens, right? So I hate it.
Fuck you, Kuzbay.
We don't get along. I end up opening for him like several times during that run, because it's like a run of shows. So we're doing like 5 shows in 7 nights or whatever. Or
is this one of the places that has the condo?
No, it's not a condo place. So we all
I wanted y'all to be stuck.
No, we get our own hotel rooms, thank God. So we don't have to act like we like each other all week or whatever. And so but yeah, I ended up doing a bunch of shows with him. The very last show was the only one that went the way that I thought it should go, where I fucking put it on him, and they looked at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, finally, I found one place that truly understands comedy. And so I hate him, right? And so I hate him.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Every comic that I see, I tell him about how much I don't like him. They're like, "Man, you really shouldn't be shitting on comics like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but fuck this one. This one I really don't like. I don't care. Whatever bridge he's on the other side of, I don't want to be there. So I'll burn this motherfucker down." And so yeah. And so here's the arc, okay? Maybe, I don't know, a year later or so, somewhere up in there, I get asked to do this competition and it's in Reno, Nevada. Okay, and so it's at the Hard Rock there. It's called like the Comedy Cage Match or something like that. It's 8 comics. Yeah. It's 8 comics. The top one gets like $1,000, $2,000, something like that. And each one down, they split it in half, right? And so that's how it goes.
The bottom one they kill, and the bottom one
murdered, right in front of everybody. They do the thing where they bring you out and they go, "Everybody clap for comic number 1! Ah! Everybody clap for comic number 2!" And then whoever they don't clap for, they do thumbs down and murder them right in front of everybody.
Right there, they slit their throat.
And the crowd doesn't know that's what's going to happen, so it's intense.
They don't want to taint the crowd's response.
Yeah,
they know that guy's gonna get his throat cut. They might not boo him.
So they bring New Jack out to murder whoever came in last place. That's what happens, right? So, okay. So I just keep having deja vu. I know I told a version of this on the old pod, but I don't know if one of the early episodes I did this or not, but I don't know if I went into as much detail. I might have just shit on him just because every now and then I do that. Every couple weeks, I just have a fuck Tommy Llama.
Get mad about it again.
Yeah, and just start talking. And so, So I'm going to do this competition, and there's some like heavy hitters in the competition. There's some dudes I really look up to. There's a guy, not Miles Weber. Gabriel Rutledge is one of my favorite comics. He's a guy that he's out in the Pacific Northwest,
Yeah, he's
and
hilarious.
he's a comics comic. He tours around the country doing every comedy club. He's been on TV doing sets a couple times, and he's just like a family man out here. Like he has kids and everything,
Yeah,
and
he's great.
he's just a good guy. Hilarious dude. You should look up everything that he does. And so, like, I know, like, most of these people that are on this show, I've actually opened for. Like, I'm the one that's kind of stepping up, like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, to where they're at.
Right.
And so, and I even made that joke. I was like, in the green room, it was literally like, of the 7 other comics, I think I'd opened for like 5 of them. And so I had made the joke of like, if I beat any of you, I'm not opening for you anymore. Like, it's fucking over, okay? This will,
Fair.
that's, look, that's fair. And so, uh, there's 3 judges for it. It's just a nightmare, dude. There's 3 judges for it. 2 of them like back out. 2 of them don't come, and it's one of those things where they're like, it's going to be comedy industry judges, right? And so we get there, and it turns out one of the judges is like one of the bookers. We're like, okay, well that's probably not good to have one of the bookers be one of the judges, but all right. And then another one's like a radio host, right? And then just some lady. We don't really know the lady's like what her credentials are in comedy. And so I'm kind of weirded out by that. I'm like, that seems weird that they didn't really have
Right.
judges and they had to kind of piece it together at the last second. Like, I don't know if this is run well. And I suspect some fuckery is gonna happen this weekend. I
Some
think
fuckery is afoot.
I I I drove 13 hours for them to
To
bend
get
me
fucked.
over. I'm pretty sure that's what's about to happen.
Yep.
And so, and it's a cutthroat. Like I know that's fine. I used cutthroat after we made all those jokes about that, but it is pretty harsh in that it's 2 days and they cut it from 8 to 4 after one day, and the 4 that don't make it, you go home. You don't get to stay for the rest of the competition. You check out the next morning. Thank you very much. You don't get paid anything. Like the top 4 people are who gets paid, right? And so I the Tommy Llama is in this competition, okay? And boy, am I not happy about it. And so
How just how did he get in it?
he is based in Vegas, and so this is not very far
Of
from
course,
Reno.
of
And
of
so he
fucking
is a
course he
Vegas
is.
comic. So yeah, if you go to
Yeah.
Vegas and go see a show, you probably will see the Tommy Llama.
I know a couple of Vegas comics that I like a lot.
No, for
Bobby
sure.
Wayne Stout's out there.
No, there's a ton of guys. I'm not, but like the like stereotypical like hack version of what you think a Vegas comic is, that's who
Right.
Tommy is, right? So
That's so funny.
he does those. And so I go up and I eat a dick. I do not have a good set. That like it's not. And by the way, I can talk about not doing well. I know it's like, damn, Chase must be a horrible cop. I'm a fucking beast, but I can admit whenever I don't have a good show, right? And so
Because he's an honest animal.
right. And so I don't do well. They don't really seem to get me either. Like, I don't know what it was. I was a little kind of out of my mind from driving 13 hours to the show. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that'll
saying?
happen.
And so I know that I'm not going to win. So I don't really have any gripes about that. But they do the end of the night. They tally up everything. And somehow Tommy Llama won the night. And all the comics are kind of like, man, that seems not right. Like,
That seems impossible.
that seems like, I thought, and so also what happens earlier, this was, you'll love this. I know I've told you this part before, but so Tommy's on stage and he's getting some laughs, and I am fuming in the green room. I am just like pacing around, angry, and then finally I just launch into like, I fucking hate that this shit works. I fucking hate that this dude goes out there with a music cue and he's banging a goddamn bell and he's got the fucking necklace. I hate all about it. Like, you're just doing some stupid character that is hack after 10 years. Like, that character should have lasted 3 months that we gave a fuck about what was going on in Charlie Sheen's life. And the fact that he hasn't even updated to a new fucking
Reference.
a new dumpster fire star of a person for you to be like, I'm there. Like, you could be in it. Like, celebrities crash and burn every year, bro. You can pick a new one.
Every fucking day.
And he just keeps going with this, and I'm just going on this rant, and in my head, all the comics are looking at me like, what the fuck is going on?
Nobody else can respect him, though, right?
Right, and so, but nobody's gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I am not only saying it, I am yelling it in the green room.
Fucking
and
right.
And while I'm doing it, in my head, I'm going, "What are you doing? Fucking stop! Just stop,
nah, dude.
This is
and
not."
Then you heard
good.
my voice that said, "Nah, fuck him."
Use the hate. And so I
let it fuel you.
And so I'm going off, and I see them looking at me because it is a shitty thing to do. You shouldn't be shitting on a comic or whatever. And also, like, I don't know that these comics don't like him. Maybe they do like him, and
might be his wife right there.
Right. And you know, and they have some kind of connection. You know, some comics have that whole thing of like, you know, you don't say anything because you might have to work their room, or they might be able to help you at some point or whatever. But like I said, I don't need any help from Tommy. I don't give a fuck. And so I'm doing all that. And I even said in the middle of it, I go, I know I'm wrong for doing this. Okay. I know that there's no right way to do comedy. If you make people laugh, congratulations. But I don't like the way he does it. I don't fucking like the way he does it. Everybody's kind of starting to laugh now because they see that I realized what I was doing and kind of joking around.
Right.
Okay. So Tommy ends his set. And now I'm sitting there going, man, all these comics just heard me shit all over him. Somebody's going to tell him. So he walks into the green room, and the second he walked in the green room, I went, Tommy, I was talking so much fucking shit about you, bro, because I hate the way you do the music cues and people laugh and the whole fucking, I just fucking hate it, bro. But I said it like literally just like that. And so like everybody starts laughing.
Right to his fucking face.
He starts laughing because he just thinks I'm kind of ball busting him. He doesn't know that I mean every word of what I just said. He doesn't know that I mean that, right? And so I get eliminated. I go home. The next night, it's the two comics I mentioned. It's Miles Weber and Gabriel Rutledge, who I knew. I thought they would move on. You know, to me, it was like going to be between those two. And so, Tommy Llama ends up winning the whole damn thing. He wins the whole thing, and man, that doesn't seem right. Okay. And so there's a guy that got eliminated the night before with me. I'll use his name. He's a cool guy, and he would tell the story, I'm sure. DJ Sandu is his name, right? And I know he's originally from Sacramento. I think he's based in Los Angeles right now. DJ Sandu, look him up. He's a fucking hilarious guy. And so DJ after night one just goes like, "Hey, can I see the scores or whatever?" Like he just like genuinely just wanted to know, like, because he had a good set, and so he was kind of like, "Man, I wonder how, you know." And he looks, and he's the one that realized Tommy won. They didn't announce it as like this is first place, second place, third place. They just announced it as these four people are moving on. And then so he starts looking at it and realizes fucking Tommy won the whole thing. What? Like that's weird. And so he starts doing some research, and it turns out the radio host is like best fucking buddies with Tommy Llama. And when you go to that dude's Facebook page for like the month and a half before, for like 2 months before the show, he's going, come out to the Hard Rock in Reno to see, it was Lake Tahoe. That's where it was. Come out to the Hard Rock in Lake Tahoe and see Tommy Llama. That's how he's like, come see my buddy Tommy Llama, not come see the competition, come see these comics, he's literally going, come see Tommy Llama. And it turns out Tommy calls into this radio show every week and does like his own little spot of like inspiration from the llama or whatever the fuck they call it. And so
I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Yeah. And so DJ immediately is like, man, that doesn't seem right, you know? And so he starts kind of like pushing the producers of it and everything, like, man, that you know, that just doesn't seem fair. And then it comes out that the lady that we're like, we don't know who she is, and they didn't exactly, like, when they introduced the judges, they didn't give her like a, she does this, this, and this. They were just like, and lady. And so turns out lady is radio show host wife. And so the three judges are one of the bookers, Tommy Llama's best friend, Tommy Llama's wife, who's not in the industry. And so she's just whatever the radio host does, right? And so now I wasn't there for night 2, but from all accounts, I'm told Tommy definitely didn't win. Like he definitely wasn't the best comic.
I've seen Gabriel Rutledge.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't win. I've seen Gabe perform.
Right. And
Gabriel. So.
And there's even comics, like the comics that were there were saying that they timed him and he went over his time, and that's supposed to be like a penalty of points and stuff, and that didn't happen. They also told us we couldn't repeat jokes. You had to do a whole different set the 2 nights, and he did some of the same jokes, and that's supposed to be a penalty, and that didn't come out. So a coup happens. Fucking DJ is livid about it, and he can't stand that he got cheated out of this, because his thought, and it's a true thought. So I was kind of like, all these comics are headliners for 15, 20 years. I'm like feature to sometimes headline guy. I don't have the same experience, right? These are like more veteran comics. So to me, it was kind of just like let's go to Lake Tahoe. If I win, I'll win, or if I play, like it didn't mean as much. I didn't expect much, And
my dick wet Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but DJ is on some like, I turned down other gigs that I could have got paid to come do this, thinking that it was on the up and up and the whole thing, and which he's right. He's very right about that. And so he calls me, Josh, on the telephone.
like voice.
Like I heard his voice.
Nah, dude, I don't like that at all.
That's how serious it was. This man, you can't even text. He's got to talk to me. And so he calls me up and he tells me he tells me this is the wife, the radio thing, all the stuff, and I go, fuck, man, yeah, that sounds pretty crazy. And he goes, and I know that you're not a fan of the Tommy Llama. And I go, buddy, I will drive this bus right fucking over him. What do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? And so he said that he had talked to one of the producers and just had mentioned all the things that I just said about why he felt that it was unfair. And his suggestion was, how about you just book all the people that you had at the competition at some point this year, just so we can make back some money? Why don't you book us at your show, right?
Right.
And so he tells me that he wants to go to them with that. And I go, yeah, dude, yeah, absolutely, whatever. And so he goes to him, and then nothing happens for a couple weeks. And then DJ just decides, we're fucking going nuclear. We're going for it. And so we're all in a Facebook group, and he just starts just going in on the producers and is like, I want to talk about this out in the open. And I know that comics have trouble like speaking out against bookers because of what it can mean for your career. So I'm just going to continue to talk about what my problems are with you. And if any comedians feel like they disagree, just say you disagree. If you don't, I'll assume that you have my back, whatever. And he just fucking lays into all of like why this is fucked up, why, whatever. The bookers are like going back at him, basically being like, you're not funny enough, just accept that you lost. Do you think that this is a way to get more bookings and blah, 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 and the whole thing. And so it goes into this, into all of it. What's funny is Gabe is very much the adult of the situation. And Gabe kind of swoops in at the end and writes like a paragraph where he basically says everything that DJ just said, but in a nice, like, these were my problems and this is what I would have liked to have seen done. But I knew whenever I took the gig that something could happen funny at a competition, because there's no guarantees at a competition, the whole thing, right? And so he kind of does that, and that punctuates it. Tommy is in this message, and he hasn't said a word the whole time. And then at the very end, he gives the most douchey like answer that you could have ever thought. And he like,
of course he did.
He like swooped in with some like basically like, I'm sorry that
I won,
and that this meant so much to you. If you want to learn more about comedy, you can come see me on the Strip in Vegas and blah 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 and all this stuff, dude. Yeah, bro. And so I hate the Tommy Llama.
Fuck you, Tommy.
And I hate Coos Bay for bringing me in, like, for making our paths cross.
Is that who you're going to be if you go do this show? Is that who you're going to be opening for again?
No, I literally would have said no. I literally would have been like, I can't work with that guy. We have too much beef. And so like I don't even know, like, but he knows I don't like. I mean, it's not like I'm like all out in the open and like slander on him, other than I don't know. I've probably told this story like 7 times on a podcast, I guess. And and so
how old is Tommy Llama? How
he's
old
in
is
his
he?
40s. He's like in his mid 40s.
Is he a fat dork?
He's an out of shape dork. he's not like obese or anything, but he's he's got a little beer gut and
beer gut and suspended little bitch arms. Is that what you're saying? Huh, Tommy? You got suspended little bitch arms? You have trouble ringing that bell, you little whiny bitch arms, Tommy?
Oh, fuck. So yeah, that's my history of the Tommy Llama, and my least favorite comic. He's my least favorite comic I've ever met in comedy, for sure.
That's saying a lot.
I've met Pauly Shore.
I got some new neighbors moved in down the street from us, and they moved in, and then we're going door to door and introducing themselves in the neighborhood.
Yeah?
Just door to door.
Just door to door, shaking hands and breathing on people?
They would knock on the door, and then they backed way up and would just wait and then introduce themselves.
From socially distanced, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, go.
I can't think of a worse first impression you could ever make on me than being a neighbor who comes over unannounced for no reason to talk at my face during a goddamn pandemic. What? And I've bragged about how fancy my door and the window setup is, right?
Yes.
If you come to my front door and you're knocking on my front door, this is your dumbass coming over to my fancy front door unannounced. There is a window right here where I can look out and clearly see who's knocking out my door. And for some reason in my brain, I just assume that they can't see me. It's just a window, but in my brain, they can't see me. This fucking family knocks on the door and then sees me wander over without a shirt on, just staring at them through the window. And they try to talk to me through the window because they see me staring at them. They see me staring at them. And they're like, "Oh, where are your neighbors from?" And dude, I just reached out and closed the blinds while they're looking right at me. I just closed the blinds right in their stupid faces.
That's like
they might be the nicest people in the world, but it's like I got the Facebook block in real life.
In real life, dude. It was right there.
It felt so good.
Amazing.
I did it real slow too, so that I could watch their face and register as it was happening to them.
And then
and then
I pulled down one blind, peeked at them. Oh,
well, no, there's another window right here. I closed this one, but they're still right there.
God, dude, what a horrible idea. Why would you do that? Why would you?
So I'm in the process of thinking how stupid that is and how that's the worst thing a neighbor could, like, you couldn't be a worse neighbor. And then somebody comes over and knocks on my gate. And I walk over to the gate and I open it up a little bit, like my backyard gate. I'm in my backyard. We're trying to decide if we want to put an awning off the back of the house. And so I bought one of those tailgating tents out there to sit under to see, like, would we actually hang out all the time outside? And we do. It's fucking great. And I'm sitting under my tailgate tent, just partying.
Like you do, yeah.
And this fucking neighbor knocks on my gate. So I go and open the gate, and I don't particularly like her. We've never had any real, just not my favorite person, and now already moving down a peg by knocking on the gate. And she says, "Look, I don't care what you do in your yard," which I know that's going to make whatever she says next is going to make me angry. But she asked me, "But could you not smoke right now because my kids are outside playing?" I mean, mine were too.
Right, yeah, my kids are right here.
Yeah, mine's holding the pipe while I'm talking to you. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Them kids got to grow up, lady.
Them kids are blowing down. Get the fuck out of here.
You can't coddle them their whole life, all right? You think that 5-year-old's not blowing down as we speak? Okay?
The second she said, "Now look, I don't care what you do in your backyard," I was instantly like, I gotta fight this bitch. The second she finishes whatever she's saying, I gotta headbutt her or whatever.
It's over.
Gotta happen. And I just said, I don't. Like they live down in a cul-de-sac, like away from me. They don't live.
Also, like, nothing happens if you smell weed.
Oh no, you die.
Oh,
If you're
I
under,
didn't know that.
yeah. If you're under 18 and it gets into your nostrils, it goes into your brain, and the cloud, like the chemicals in the cloud, basically form like a chemical, like a almost a chemical lasso around your brain, and it
Oh,
just strangles
just
all your
squeezes tight.
brain. Just
Damn.
it strangles your brain until you shit yourself and die.
Is your
Seen it
brain
happen
on?
countless times.
Is your brain on drugs?
Yeah, that was there was a guy that was murdering kids one Halloween. They would knock on his door for candy, and they would say trick or treat, and he would open the door and blow weed smoke in their face, and their brains would just and they'd shit themselves and die on the
Well,
porch.
see, now I've heard of that. Now that I
Oh,
know, like I know when you blow directly in their face, it explodes their brain. But what I'm saying is, when you're 3 houses over and
it's a slower, more painful death that way.
oh, see that I
Yeah,
don't.
dude.
I gotta stop talking about it because I don't fully understand everything. You know what I'm saying? It's not good for me to talk when I'm not as informed on it, and I know that you're speaking the truth about it. But like,
I'm definitely not lying.
Yeah, I know that.
But it
And
was
so,
such a weird thing to come and knock, and I was high now, and so like I didn't even know.
well, here's the thing. She probably sobered you up a little bit. Now you got to smoke. Now you got to smoke to
Right?
get over this lady. So, like, that was the worst thing you could have done was come tell you not to smoke because now you got to smoke. Like, it was over. You could have just let it
Yeah.
go.
I told her that I said I don't know what you're talking about, but I didn't. So I'm high, and I said I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm holding a pipe and a lighter in my hand. Like I've got a big fancy Sherlock pipe in my hand, and I was like I don't know what you're talking about. And then I realized that the pipe was in my hand too, and I was like, and I literally just like, nah.
Wait,
And she goes, I asked you nicely, and I said, and I just closed my gate and locked it, and then just blew down. I built an intricate hose system that goes from my chair with PVC pipe. I went and bought at Home Depot that I sealed off, and it goes it's like a placement in front of my face. And the pipes go down into the ground, 6 feet clearance. I'm under all the water pipes. I got it cleared with the city. And it goes all the way down down to the cul-de-sac of our neighborhood and comes up in the bedroom of that lady's kids. And I just blow smoke into it, and it has fans in it that takes the smoke that I blow into the end on my end, and it transports it down the cul-de-sac directly into the bedroom and murders the whole family. It's a little project I put together over the weekend. Nothing big.
hey, man, I know you've been
ran
watching.
down to Lowe's real quick, gonna murder my neighbors with weed smoke. Ran down to Lowe's.
I know you've been watching HGTV and stuff, man. It's good to see.
It's such a weird fucking thing to come.
You got inspired. Yeah, I would just mind my business. That's the way I would handle that. Like
I would just mind my fucking business, right?
I would just be like, oh man, I can kind of smell weed. I bet my kids don't notice that. And then, yeah.
But I found out the best part I found out was I don't know if she knows that what she smelled was weed. Because there's an old lady that lives across the street from me, and I mean this respectfully when I say old lady. This old bitch.
His old hag.
His old hag witch. She's really nice. And she smokes cigarettes outside in her garden all the time.
Hmm.
And I was walking my dogs. And her house is across the street where I cross over to walk the dogs out by the creeks. So I always walk by her backyard, and I always see her and we wave. And I always smell her goddamn cigarettes, and I complain about it. I'm like, I'm calling the HOA if I keep smelling that shit, Sharon.
I've had about enough of it, Sharon.
I was walking back there, and she blew some smoke. Like she was smoking in her backyard. When I walked by, she goes, "Oh, are you here to tell me I can't smoke in my backyard too?" And I said, "What? Oh, what?" And she goes, "Yeah." And this sweet old lady who I've never had a real conversation with, she goes, "Yeah, some dumb bitch from down the street came up here and told me I couldn't smoke in my yard because her fucking kids are outside." And I was like, "Oh." And she goes, "Yeah, she said they could smell the smoke." And I said, "Okay." And I was like, "Yeah, she came over to my house too." And she goes, "Some fucking people, huh?"
Right.
It made me laugh so hard. And like instantly, I'm like, I like this lady a lot more.
I mean,
but
that
then
lady.
I was like, but then I did say, "But Sharon, you should stop. You should stop smoking. I'm standing right here."
But seriously, my kids are out, and so.
But my kids are out, so maybe
I do have to take her side on that one. I'm sorry.
But it was so funny to hear this sweet old lady say "dumb bitch" down the street. That made me laugh a lot because I am very, very simple.
Man, a fly landed on Mike Pence, and I ain't never seen nothing more funny in my whole goddamn life than a fly landing on the vice president of the United States. Bruh. That's all that happened that night.
I started a Twitter account as the fly on Mike Pence's head, and I can't believe I'm the only one. Mike, check me out. I'm fly on Mike Pence's head at twitter.gmail.
And you just tweet Jeff Goldblum memes the whole time.
I tweet stuff about like how a fly had a MAGA hat on, and then I talk about how I got coronavirus, and that I'm gonna fly to China and kick their ass for giving it to my president.
That fly was Chinese. I know a Chinese fly when I see one.
Bro, Mike Pence looked like a goddamn zombie. His eye was exploded. He got flies buzzing around his head. He's fucking dead. He's been dead. He don't want nobody to know about it. Mike Pence is fucking dead. He's been dead for weeks.
The media won't tell you. They won't report on it.
They don't want you to know that he's fucking dead. He's dead.
Fucking Weekend at Bernie's is going on in the White House right now, and nobody's saying anything.
And look, I'll tell you, I hate Trump with all of my heart and soul, but I think I want to punch Mike Pence more. I want to fucking punch his face.
Well, because
bad.
It's a different type of lying that Pence does. Because Trump is the type of lying I've seen. I've seen loudmouth, liar, overpromise, used car sales. I've seen those dudes. But for you to sit there and try to act like you have any dignity while you lie to me, bro, I'll beat your dog ass, bro. I'll beat the fuck out of you.
If a snake bites you, you can't get mad that a snake bit you. It's a snake. That's what snakes do. You can't be mad that a snake bites you. But whenever a rabbit acts like a snake, acts like he's your friend, and then turns around and bites you, then you're fucked. And Mike Pence is a rabbit that's actually a snake in a rabbit skin with a fly on his head. You fuck.
That's what he is. That's what
I just took the whole GOP down, you sons of bitches.
Bro.
And I liked the way, the only thing I can give him credit for was that he said Kamala Harris's name right.
Yeah.
Trump has a certain way that he says it, and I mean obviously does it on purpose. Just the way he says her name is disrespectful, and I don't even know how to. But
they called her a monster today. At some point.
The campaign made fun of Joe Biden for not having coronavirus.
That is the spin that they're doing is, I mean, that is like at a certain point, I've stopped being terrified and just started just being like, wow, how to to get coronavirus after you've been talking shit for 7-8 months about how it's not that big a deal or whatever, and then to spin it into this whole like he's a hero now because he had it is just, that's top-notch bullshit there.
Somebody shared a picture and it was an X-ray, but in the X-ray was a Superman suit, and he's standing like this, and it said Donald Trump's X-ray from Walter Reed. I don't understand you fucking weirdos with that stuff, man. I just don't. He's a fat, dumpy, old, lying, racist piece of shit. And they're like, oh, look, he's our Superman hero. He got a virus that he told you wasn't serious, that he knew was serious the whole time. And I'm still not 100% sure that he got it.
Really?
I don't know if he really. Okay, I'm going to go into some conspiracy stuff here. The video that he put out in front of where he's talking out in front of the White House about seniors and stuff is filmed in front of a green screen.
Clearly.
Okay. And if you look close, it looks like he's laying down. It looks like he's being recorded laying down, the way his body is set. So either he didn't really get coronavirus and he's pretended to get it to beat it to be a hero or whatever, or he's got it and his old fat ass is dying right now somewhere. He called into Hannity and was had to stop.
Wouldn't stop coughing
so bad.
Yeah. And, well, dude, he walked out on the fucking balcony and he took his mask off, and you saw.
He looked like I looked at my first couple of shows when I was like really pilled out and drunk to try to, because I thought that's how you got comfortable to be funny on stage, and just trying not to puke, and I'm standing up there.
I think he has it. I think he has it, and I think he's so arrogant that he thinks having it makes him weak. And so he's doing all of this stuff to try to be like, no, see, I fucking kicked its ass.
It does.
But
if you die from it, you're weak.
Dude, it's just so, I mean, he clearly like, I mean, all those videos he was releasing on Twitter whenever he first went to the hospital or whatever, like he clearly just filmed all of those back to back to back to back.
They checked the timestamp on it. Like one of the news outlets checked the timestamp, and they're all like 5 minutes apart. And if you zoom in, he's signing a blank piece of paper with a Sharpie.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being sick. Like you can be sick, man. Like it would have actually been the most human thing, like the most humane thing that you could have done is if for you to have got coronavirus and then started to take it serious, like that would have been like, you know, a normal thing to do. But the fact that he looks at it as like, well, I can't get it, like as if I'm gonna look down on him more than I already do. Dude, you can't be lower than my opinion of you. Of all the people I've ever seen or heard about in the history of the world, you're my least fucking favorite.
All of them.
Of all of them. I don't give a shit about Biden. I don't dude, I just hate you so fucking much. So much.
I hate you more than I like Biden.
Dude, I don't get the president worship. I do not understand how, no matter who it was. Okay, I voted for Obama. I didn't go buy a fucking Obama shirt and wave a flag every day and yell Obama at people that had different beliefs than me and stuff like that. Like
Obama! I had an Obama shirt. I had an Obama shirt that I bought at Goodwill. That I bought right before we went and did a show in Alabama just because I wanted everybody in Mobile to get mad at me about it.
Yeah.
But I've never, and being down here where I am, you see the Trump flags and people with the Trump shirts and like, there is a guy in my neighborhood that has a big 45 tattooed on his arm.
Dude, that's American insane. Flag. You should not look up to any president. Even good presidents are shit presidents, okay? They're all a little evil. They all have fucking skeletons in their closet. You are looking up to a flawed fucking person no matter who's in there. That's what I'm saying. As much as I think Obama was like unbelievably the better president, like I still know he fucking did something. Like he fucking the drone shit, like all that stuff. Like
right. But the difference with Obama was people, I mean, there was a group of people that liked Obama just because he was black, because he was the first black president. Like some people did like him just for that. Some people hated him just for that. But a lot of people liked Obama because of the policies he tried to put in to protect people and the people he tried to help.
Yeah.
Where the people that love Trump hate the same people he hates. It's not that he's trying to help anybody or any policies that he's enacting. It's that he hates the same people they do. Right. That's why they like him. And it's such a weird, it's all these dudes that are like, that think, it's the guys that think I'm a beta because a beta cuck because I'm a stay-at-home dad because my wife makes 3 times the amount of money I would make in the job field. Those guys are the guys that are getting tattoos of Trump with his shirt off and fake muscles on a tank. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. You can't, looking up to anybody like that is insane. Okay. If I've learned anything is that you can't have heroes. And
nah, dude. They jerk off in front of people and force them to watch your whole. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and especially not a politician. You can't look up to a politician like that, dude. What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, man.
It's, I just don't understand it. And it's embarrassing. And I find it even funnier when the people think that them doing it, they think that us rolling our eyes at them with a Trump tattoo is because we're triggered and not because we think they're fucking stupid for having a Trump tattoo.
Yes. Dude, I'm not
like
if Biden wins, I'm not going to get a Biden tattoo. Like, I'm not going to run around celebrating Biden. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'll celebrate that Trump lost.
I want so bad for politics to be boring again. Like, I would fucking love
me too.
Nothing more than to not be constantly checking shit and scared that things are being taken away from people and stuff. Like, I just would love to not really understand what's going on anymore. I would love to watch debates and hear one candidate talk about a policy they want to put in place, and I want to hear the other one talk about their policy they like to put in place, and I want to hear what are the differences between those. I would love to go back to a time where that was what this was all about, because I can't stand this fucking reality show bullshit where it's just one dude yelling conspiracy theories, the other one's telling the other dude to shut the fuck up, and dude, be boring, please. Make politicians boring again. That's what I need. Like, I just need some fucking peace so I can write goofy jokes about life and not be scared that the fucking world's gonna catch on fire.
I had a bad, when I was in the military in early 20s, I liked George W. Bush. I liked him a lot, but I liked him a lot because I was in the military and he got me a lot of pay raises. Mm-hmm. So I made a lot more money. So but I didn't pay much attention to politics because it didn't affect me. I was going to a war regardless. Like, it just didn't affect me much. So I never really paid too much attention to it. And now I've gone back and looked at some of the stuff and fuck, he's not a good president. Right. And then he did give me raises, but he also was very anti-LGBTQ. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to make sure I got make sure I got it in the right order. It's stuff that I didn't even realize at the time. And oh shit, so maybe politics aren't really that different. I'm just paying more attention to it because now
that could be.
I have people in my life that are LGBTQ that I care about, that I know, whereas before maybe it hadn't touched my life personally. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense because
not even think about it. I never thought about abortion as a kid or growing up or early 20s. It never crossed my mind.
No, it is true.
Now it does.
The world was always on fire. I am just older and now paying more attention to it.
Right.
And because obviously if you look back through any period of time, there's a controversy and we've been at war for 20 years. And there was a war, not long right before that.
If they'd send me back for 1 week, I'd fucking stop it all right now. Just send me back 1 week. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't drone me. No cameras. Just send me in there and pick me up with some Band-Aids for my knucks, because that's all I'm going to need. 1 week. That whole fucking country will be straightened out. We'll have all the Earl we want.
I've been saying that, bro. I've been saying, why are we holding back our greatest weapon right now? Josh could go over there and bring democracy and come back with oil.
Yep.
In just 1 week.
All the oil. All of the oil and all of the gold. I come back with a gold Rolls Royce. Believe it.
Drive back.
I'll drive back.
A gold Rolls Royce.
I'll drive back in a gold Rolls Royce as the president of the Middle East.
Goddamn right. Shit. All right, man. Let's end this, bro.
All right, dude. Let's get out of here.
We fucking got real at the end. All right.
We got real about politics, and I know it's controversial, and I don't. Bucketheads out there, I want you to listen to me closely. I know it's controversial to say this, and I'm sorry to put you in an uncomfortable position. But we here at Buckets of Duckets, I speak for my best friend Chase Myers when I say this. We think Nazis suck. We think Black Lives Matter. And we really hate Nazis, and Nazis suck. And we hate Donald Trump. We hate everybody that supports him. And we think that everybody should have an opinion unless it's a stupid Nazi opinion. And then you should go get fucked. I don't mean to, you know what I mean? We're not trying to start nothing. But I hope all of you die in a hot fire.
That's all we saying. That's
it. I don't want anything, I hope your entire family lineage is wiped out. That's all I mean.
That's all I mean. I just hope you trip and hit your head on your toilet. That's all I'm saying. I just wish.
And bleed out, and then every member in your family in order walks in and does the same thing by slipping on the blood of the previous person. That's it.
That's all I want. That's all I'm saying. Just, okay? Don't hurt nobody.
BucketsofDuckets.com.
See y'all next week.